So in part 3 of our series of the second day of study skills, looking at bibliography, citations, and research, we've discussed the importance of including an accurate bibliography. We have discussed the importance of tracing back the research to the original sources and citing them. What we haven't discussed is how to make the citation properly, which is key because there are a number of ways to do it. There are multiple versions of the APA, which is volume 4 or 6, for example, these editions of the bibliographies. Pretty much every major institution or field likes their bibliographies cited in a certain way. So whether things are underlined, whether they're put in quotes, the order of the information, even how you cite them in the work. Some want numbers. Some want authors and years. What we need to do is to go back and figure out how do we make sure that we're citing it properly for the field we are in. Well, step 1 is to find out what format people are looking for. So at this stage, it's probably best to ask your teacher or professor what they're looking for, unless you know you are in a standardized field that's looking for a very particular style. So find out what that style is. Once you have that, you have a couple options. One of them is to learn all the idiosyncrasies of each style, because there are a lot of them. So that's one option for step 2. I like to go a different route. There are a number of free software packages that can do it properly for you. So let's take a look at the first one here, Google Scholar. So go to scholar.google.com in your web browser. This is a free service that Google has out there, specifically designed to help with things like this. So this will not direct you to Wikipedia, but it might direct you to something cited by Wikipedia. So let's do a search for a particular title. For example, this one, Performance of the Atlas Hadron Calorimeter in Beam Tests. It's been cited 122 times. This is something that really helps, sort of justify the validity of something. So the more something is cited in the field, then the more confidence people will have in that content. It'll have the list of authors here. It'll have the journal. It's got the summary. There's 16 versions you could find, related articles. Here, these little quotation marks, that's what you're looking for. So you can click these quotation marks. Now you'll see MLA format is one of them. APA format, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver. These are a variety of bibliography styles. But Google Scholar has it properly cited for you in that style. So if you've gone to Wikipedia, you have read the summary, followed it to the source, found it's an effective source, but as often happens, it's a little bit beyond you at this point, well, you can cross-reference that by searching for the title in Google Scholar, find the paper, and then you can copy and paste the properly formatted citation into your work. Now, Google Scholar is one way to do it. The side effect, or the downside to this, is that if you use more than one style, so for example, when I was in university, at one point I had 3 different professors in one semester who used 3 different styles. I had to cite in 2 different versions of APA and 1 version of MLA. So you could keep coming back and coming back to reformat it if you're referring to the same source in multiple classes. That's where BibTeX comes in. So if you click that BibTeX link, you'll see this text, and it looks like gibberish. This is not the final way that you cite it. But if you use software like LaTeX, which is available free, you can use it in your works. It can assemble the bibliographies for you based on this raw data. So the first thing in article here is the label. So you can give something that label. And then when you're writing the project, so for example, let's open up a project that we have here. And this has the bibliography at the end. So here it's references. We can see the references section in this work. We can go to bibliography, take this BibTeX output that Google Scholar gave us, paste it in here, take this label, and then when we're writing, we can go cite, paste that label in. And then, when we compile the document, or have this generate the document, we now see two references here. And our second reference is properly formatted. It's in the right sequence because they want them in a particular author sequence. And if you've got different teachers asking you for different styles or right from multiple publications with the same source, you can use one file of raw bibliography data and just keep filling in everything that you use. And then in the actual text of the material itself, you just say cite and it'll cite it properly. It'll reformat it. If they say they want a different style, well, this software supports a bibliography style command. So right now it's APA cite. I could change this to MLA. I could change it to Chicago. I could change it to Vancouver. I could change it to any of these styles that we saw here in Google Scholar, Harvard, whatever. And the software will take care of the rest. So this is definitely a work smarter, not harder thing, where you can just have this do it automatically. So overleaf.com again is free, and it's one way to get LaTeX. There are others. TechMaker is great if you know you're going to be working on the same computer. Overleaf is great if you're going to be working in the cloud. But the key is to have something to make sure that you are citing all of your sources, giving credit where credit is due so you don't get accused of theft and accidentally end your career, and properly trace it back without having to spend a huge amount of time figuring out bibliography styles. You can just say, this is it, get it done, and move on and focus on the actual content of your research.